Hello, I'm Lofty Snowman, and today I will be showing you Frida, my automa for Power Grid. Little rule book and a little deck of cards. This is a free print and play automa. You'll find links in the description under the video if you want to make a copy for yourself. Today I'm going to be showing off version 1.6. At this point, I may run more simulations and change some of the numbers, but the mechanics are solid. So if there's a new version after 1.6, it would just be tweaking some of the numbers on the cards. You would play exactly the same way as I'm going to show in this video. I've done a standard rules setup of Power Grid here. I have my 50 Electro. We have the Power Grid market using the recharged market setup today, but the original rules work just fine. Playing on the United States of America map, I have my resources set up as per the setup rules for 3 players. When you're playing solo against Frida, you play a 3-player game following all the normal rules. And if you're playing with 2 players against Frida, then you play the 4-player setup. So I've shuffled up all my guys here. I think I did forget to remove some plants. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that's done. Step 2 is going to trigger when somebody has built 7 cities, and the game ends when somebody has built the 17th city. I've used some poker chips to block off regions that won't be used. I'll be playing in the green, yellow, and red regions. You can do that however you like. You could use some of the things I'll explain in the autumn later if you really wanted to have it pick for you, but pick your 3 regions however you feel for a solo game. In 2-player, I think you use 4 regions. So just follow the rules for your map, set the game up as you always would. And as you play the game, you play how you'd always play, and Frida will act as 2 other players. Now, you may be familiar with the Robots expansion. That is an older expansion to Power Grid that offered some similar functionality to this. But, in my opinion, Automa design has grown significantly since Robots was published, and it's still a fine expansion. It works. But it has, in my opinion, a lot of Automa overhead. When Kat and I would play with the Robots expansion, it always felt like we were spending a lot more time on the Automa than we were on our own turns. Frida aims to simplify that a bit. They still interact the way that 2 real people would, but you don't have to make any choices. The cards serve as their brain. Exceptions to the normal rules, Frida will be acting as 2 colors of player. So when you're setting up, I'm going to be playing as purple. Give yourself a color, and then set out 2 other colors, 1 for each half of Frida. You see there's this vertical split here. I like to set 1 color above the left and 1 above the right so that I remember who's who. As the game goes on, they will always be on the same side of the card. But each Automa card has 3 sections. And you'll see up in this area during the video, a blown up version of whatever card is currently being used by the Automa. You can think of the Automa as having 3 rows. There's the auction brain. This first row is used during phase 2 of each turn, buying power plants. The resource brain, which is used during phase 3, buy raw materials. And the building brain, which is used during phase 4, placing buildings in cities. The left half is how the green player will be making decisions. The right half is how the yellow player makes decisions. You need to keep that the same over the course of the game, which side is on which half. But other than that, you just kind of follow the rules that we'll show it here. There is a rule book, and it's fairly brief. Explains in more detail how everything works. So at the beginning of the game, just like when you play with 2 humans, the first turn is a little different from the rest of the game. Since there is no player order yet, you have to do things during the auction to kind of set up for the rest of the game. The way we do that when playing against Frida is Frida's left half always gets to go first in the first auction. Then the human players go, determine your human player order however you want for the first turn. And then after that, the right half will go. We ignore some of the normal rules that Frida follows, and I'll explain those in a bit. During this first phase 2, we're going to have Frida look at the left half of the auction brain, and there's 2 parts to each of these. There is the plant that they would choose, and there is the amount they would bid against you in an auction. You ignore the bid for this first turn, first automa, and they're just going to take plant 4. Your market is arranged low to high, the 4 least expensive plants. And they're going to take plant 4 of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're just going to claim that plant. They just get it. You don't get a chance in the first turn to bid against them. Just setting this over here as a reminder of whose plants are whose. Now the human goes. I'm playing one player for this video, so it's just me. Refill the market. And now I get to choose a plant. An important thing here during this first auction, the very first turn, you need to make sure that the very first Frida card has 2 plants being chosen for the auction. Keep dealing out automa cards for the first time until that happens. After the first turn, it'll be whatever card comes up. And the automa is going to use 3 cards each turn. 1 card for each phase. And you don't reveal it until such time as the automa needs to make a choice. So you're not really sure what the automa is doing right up until they do it. Okay. But now, I need to choose a plant. And now we're getting into the regular rules, how Frida's going to work basically the whole game. I want to take a plant. And actually it's the first turn, so I have to take a plant. Whatever plant I choose, any part of Frida that has not yet taken a plant this turn that would take a plant participates in the auction against me. So I have to take a plant on the first turn, and I have to pay 3 more electro than the asking price, because that is what the automa would force me up to. Gotta take a plant. I'd love not to spend too much money. I already took an oil plant. Not great. I have a little bit of flexibility. I'll take this guy, which asking price is 5, but the yellow player has not gone yet. So they add a 3 ante for a total of 8. So I'm playing with poker chips. I just liked poker chips over the paper money. 25 minus 8, 17. Okay. That's 27. There we go. 17. I take plant 5, add it to my personal supply of power plants here. Now, after refilling, you'll see I keep the same order here, low to high, and then the futures market up here, high to low. That's just makes it easier to kind of pull things down for me. Now the yellow half is going to go. They take the first plant, and all other players have already taken a plant, so they just get it. And if this weren't the first turn, and you had passed when the automa puts up a plant, that's fine. You can participate in future auctions. But if you're doing the auction and you started the auction and don't buy the first time because the automa makes it too expensive, then you don't get to participate the rest of the auction. So first turn, everybody's got to buy a plant. But we'll see that come up as the game goes on, I imagine. Okay. During the first turn of Power Grid, just as when you're playing without the Automa, you have to determine player order now. That is, you figure that out by looking at power plants. Green has 7, so green is first. I have 5, so I'm going second. And then yellow with 3. So we have determined player order. Now you play Power Grid how you'd always play Power Grid. So we go on to the next phase. We are buying raw materials. This goes last player to first, and I am not last player. Yellow is the last player. So we enter a new phase. We're going to flip over the second of 3 cards. We're using this resource section now. And you'll see a little picture of 3 power plants on here, because that's how many power plants you can have in a 3 or a 4 player game. The topmost plant that the Automa owns gets 1 multiplier, how many resources they're going to take off the board, and every power plant underneath it gets tucked with the resources kind of sticking out so you can still see them, and they get a different multiplier. If there's a red X at any time for any of these 6 areas, that Automa for that phase just skips their action. But for this time, yellow's going to take resources. They only have the 1 plant, and it has 2 oil. I set up especially for solo, I set up my resource market a little different. It's the same numerical values as you would do for a 3-player setup, but I just have 1 token on here that I like to slide up and down. It makes the Automa go faster, and then I'll just snag whatever I actually buy from a little pile of resource tokens over here. Back to the game. Buying resources, yellow's going first. Yellow's going to take 2 oil. Then it's my turn. I'm going to do 2 coal. I could do coal or oil. That's going to cost me $2. Then green's going to go, and they do 2 times their top plant. So they're going to take 6 oil on the first turn. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Now it's time to build. Yellow's going first in the building phase, so first you reveal the 3rd card for the round. And yellow is going to build 2 houses to the northeast. Now it's extremely rare that the Automa can't build. It effectively never has happened in the simulations. When you're placing the first building for the Automa, you take one of their color houses and start at the center of whatever regions you're using this time. And since the yellow player wants to build to the northeast, this way, their first house starts from the center in the opposite direction. So you can kind of eyeball it. It's not an exact science. I'm sure it is, but don't worry about it. Yellow's going to start in Houston. They put their first house there because it's the opposite of the direction they want to build. Now, for any future houses they place this turn, they start at that first house, and you spin around in a circle, starting in the direction they want to go. And again, you're kind of eyeballing it. You'll be okay however you decide to do this. But you basically build out in concentric circles until you find an open place. Up to the northeast, yellow has no connection coming off of Houston, so they spin clockwise, hit this connection to New Orleans. That is open, so they build here. Now, when you're done building for that Automa's turn, I like to put a second house on the first one sideways. This is called their build target, and it's where they will start building from next time. Purple's turn to build. That's me. I do have some money. Some cheap places to build on the board here. 40. We have 40. There may be a better move on the board, but sometimes I like to just jump in there. So 10, 20. Ooh, I could do 34, actually. But it doesn't really set me up for a good later turn. So we'll do there. 3. And I did forget, when that Automa built their 2 houses, you move up the same number on the score tracker. So I built 3, so 1, 2, 3. Now, Green's turn. Green wants to build southwest. So they're going to start in the northeastmost corner, which you could argue is this guy, Cincinnati. They're only building, they are building 2. They're building 2, so they start in Cincinnati. Now they're going southwest, nothing. So clockwise, they hit this St. Louis connection and build there. And let's stick their house up there. Okay. Now we are done. Oh, I totally forgot to give myself the coal that I purchased earlier. Now we are done building. We move into bureaucracy. I'm going to power one of my cities, which gives me $22. 22 electro. I'm going to say dollars all the time, or money. The Automa does nothing during bureaucracy. You don't have to worry about it. End of the round, you throw out the highest power plant to the bottom of the stack, redeal the market, replenish the resources according to what step you're in. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 1. And then begin the next round. So now we're in round 2. At the start of each round, we're going to take 3 cards that we used for Frida last time and discard them, keeping in mind that 3 cards were discarded at the beginning. Every time you go through the deck, you're going to not see 3 of the cards. Get their 3 cards ready for this turn, but you do not get to see a card until you need to. So what that means is we'll determine player order. I'm going to be going first. Green and yellow are tied, but green has the higher plant, so they are going second. Yellow's going last. I am leading the power plant auction, so now I need to know. Now we flip over the first card for Frida for the turn. Okay. Only one Automa would be bidding against me. Yellow is not participating. But if they were both participating, whoever has the higher bid is the one you have to pay for any Automa that are still in the auction. I can put any plant up for auction that I want, but whichever plant I choose, I'm going to have to pay 6 more electro than the asking price, which is not great, especially in the early game, but I really need some power generation here. So this would cost me 16 because Frida's jacking up the price by 6. $16 for that piddly plant. Thanks, Frida. It's the green Automa's turn, and they are going to claim plant 3 after I refill the market here. And since I already purchased a plant, I am out of the auction. They just get it. They are the green Automa, and this is the green Automa stack. Whenever they buy a new power plant, if it is a higher cost than their current top plant, then you put it on top of the stack. If it was less, you would do the same thing, but tuck it under the top plant. Then if you had more than 3 plants, whatever's on the very bottom of the stack, discarded. But in this case, 11 is higher than 7, goes on top. Make sure you can see the resources of the other plants, though. Yellow is not participating in the auction this time, so we just refill the market. Go on our merry way. We are into purchasing resources. Yellow is going first, so it's time to reveal their second card for the round. 1 card per phase. Okay, yellow is going to take 1 times their top plant, which they only have a top plant, so that's 2 oil. Then it's green's turn. Green's going to take 1 times all of their plants, basically. So that's 1 nuke, 3 oil. And then it's my turn. They Didn't get any coal, thankfully. Keeping it cheap. Gonna buy 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. Not bad. I think that was a 10 chip. And I get my 5. No, I get my 4. We're on to building. Frida is building first. The yellow Automa is going first. The yellow Automa now wants to build 1 to the west. So you take another yellow house. You start at their build target where you have that second building stacked up. And go to the west. Well, it's already taken. Just like when playing the normal game with human players, the Automa cannot build in the same city twice. The 2 different halves are allowed to. You could have a green and a yellow, but you can't have yellow and yellow. And I, as the human, can't build in the same place twice. So this is not valid. Go back to the build target. 1 loop out. Dallas is open. They'll build in Dallas. They're only building 1 city. Move their build target over there. That's where they'll start next time. And they built 1 city. Green's turn. Green wants to build 2 to the east. We start here. I'd say this is kind of east, but they've already gone there. Spin around. There's no opening. This is open. And same thing. Let's do all that spin around, and then this is open. So they will be building here now. They have both built. Oh, and he built 2. My turn. I don't know if I want to build. I already have 3. Oh, and there's a 13. Okay, I'm going to go nuts. I'm spending all my money. 10, 20, 30, 3, 7, 11, 41. I think I'm just there. 28, 31, 41. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. One, two, three. Goodbye, Electro. And that's it. Building is over. Now we do bureaucracy. I'm going to power 3 cities, which gives me $44. 44 Electro. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, the Automa doesn't do anything, but you do your normal bureaucracy. Highest plant. Highest plant goes under the stack. And refill. Did the refill, got to restock resources. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 1. Now, a round. So, round 3. Turn order. All the scores are all different, so purple, green, yellow, same turn order. I am doing the first auction because I'm first player, so we need some new Frida cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, this time green is not participating, and yellow will be claiming a plant, but they're not going to bid with me. So I can take whatever plant I want and not have to pay extra. I think I'll take this 12. For 12. Replenish. Okay. Now, it would be green's turn, but green is effectively passing. Yellow's turn. We're going to just take plant 2. I already got one. 8 is higher than 3, so that goes right there. Okay. Done with auctions. Resource market. Yellow is going first, and then green. They're both going to 1x. So yellow is going to take 3 coal and 2 oil. And then it'll be green's turn. Green is going to take 1 nuke and 3 oil. Okay. My turn. Let's see. 6 coal will be 1, 2, 3 for 6. Do I want more than that? Probably. Maybe just 1 more for 3. An additional 1 would cost 3, leaving me 20 to build stuff with. I don't think that extra $3 is going to be another city for me. 17 at least. I might as well buy 2, though, would be 6. I still don't think it matters. I'll buy 2 more for 6, which puts me from 4 to 5, which is another $10. Makes $4. Yeah, 2 more. We're done with resources. Yellow is building first. Reveal the next Automa card. Yellow wants to build 1 to the northeast. So they're going to look to the northeast. It's taken because we're not in step 2 yet. They spin around and come back to Oklahoma City. That's their 1. Built. Green is going to build 2 to the southwest. So they're going to start here. Nothing's open, nothing's open. Chicago's open. Nothing's open, nothing's open. None of these are going to be open on the first link, all the stuff that's connected to Kansas City. So you do the same process, but you jump out to the next link in the chain first. So 1 link away, everything's still taken. Spin around 1 link away. Kansas City was all taken. Oklahoma City's all taken. The next connected thing in the regions we're using is Chicago. Chicago has an opening in Minneapolis. So do all that again would eventually get you to Minneapolis again. Chicago would then loop down there. St. Louis would loop to here. Memphis to here. So it doesn't make a huge difference, but eventually we'll get 2 links away. Southwest is going to wind up being here, I think. If you spin it a little different or choose the directions a little differently, it doesn't make a huge difference. Do whatever's easiest for you. What I was doing there was looping out in circles and hit Raleigh first. So there we are. There's the 2 for green. We have our 4 for... Did I miscount green last round? Did I not build them? I might have had their play order messed up before. But it's all fixed now. It's a nice thing about Power Grid. It's easy to course correct your score. Okay, so now green has triggered step 2. It's my turn to build, but if I remember correctly, step 2 doesn't happen until the next turn. I don't have enough money to build anyway. We are doing bureaucracy. I'm going to power 5. 5. And that will get me $64. Okay. Cycle the highest plant. I forgot to refill the plants last time. Refill the resources. Now we're in step 2. So we're going to use the step 2 amounts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1. New round, round 4. Player order. Now with the correctly tallied buildings, green is player 1. I'm second, yellow's third. We need new Automa cards. Green is going to be starting the auction. 1, 2, 3 cards for Frida. And what are we doing here? Green. So, green and yellow are participating. Green gets to go first, and they're going to put up plant 3. If I wanted plant 3, green and yellow are both in it, and green's bid is higher. So I'd have to spend 5 on top of the price. So this would be 18 if I wanted it. I do not want it, especially for that much money. Green can have it. Now it's my turn. Refresh the market a little bit. It's my turn. Yellow is still in the auction, so whatever I choose, I would have to spend at least 3 more than what the plant actually costs. There's not a lot of great plants out there. I might pass this time. Take advantage of it being step 2 here. So I pass, and if you pass when it's your turn, you're now out. Just like in the real game, if you pass on the Autumn's offer, you're not out. But my turn is now over, and I'm out. Yellow's turn, they're going to claim plant 2. They just get it. It's lower than 8. So that goes down. Actually, honestly, 6 and 4 are both gone because somebody's built more than that amount of houses. So let's replenish first. I don't think it would have changed what I would have done for the same reason. Refill all these guys. Well, yellow's going to take 2. Yellow gets this plant. Okay. Now replenish. And we are on to buying resources, and yellow goes first. Ooh, yellow is skipping resources this time. My turn. Let's see. 1, 2 is going to cost me 4. One, 2 is going to cost me 6. Gain of $3. Sometimes it does come down to that $1 though. So 1, 2, $7. Okay. Green's turn. Green is going to 2x their top plant and then 1x their other. So thankfully they have an energy, a clean energy plant. When they have a clean energy plant, it would still go on top, but they don't claim any resources. But they will take a nuke. They will take 3 oil. Okay. Building. Yellow is going first. We are in step 2. Yellow goes to the east twice, and step 2 is now open. So they're going to hop in Memphis, spin around, hop into Kansas City. Now they're building in Kansas City. Next time, I'm going to try to remember to scoot up their buildings. My turn to build, and I got a fair bit of money to build with. 50, we're going to 60 electro in step 2. I'd like to get up this way. A lot of nice open spaces in that yellow region. Only 15 to get here and 21 to zoom over one more. I think we'll start with that. 15 into Knoxville. 21 into Cincinnati. So 10, 25, 31. That's 2 more for me. And then still have quite a bit of cash. Can only power 5. There's a lot of open spaces. We'll spend 22. 3 back. Pop up into Chicago. Another points. Sure I didn't miss anybody. They have built. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Right now it is Green's turn, and they're building 1 to the west. So Green builds this way. Step 2 is now open, but they've already built there. They're just going to pop into this 10 space up in Norfolk. They're just building 1. Right there. Okay. Bureaucracy. I'm going to power my 5 again. Get $64 again. Wipe the highest plant. Chucking these cards today. Refill at the step 2 rates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1. And end of round. I think. Round 5. New player order. I am first, then green, then yellow. Need some new Automa cards for Frida. And coming up first is my plant auction. So let's see what we're up against here. Not bad. I'd have to spend 3 more. Trash is coming down. Might do that. That's a nice increase of 3. Take the trash now. It cost me 27 because green is still in the auction, and they would have pushed my bid up that much. So 24 plus 3, 27. Then it's green's turn. I'm out of the auction, so they just quickly zip through their turn now. They're going to take plant 3. And yellow is going to take plant 4. You'll see if the number is bigger, it goes on top. Then I've gotten 4 plants, so we take their lowest on the stack away. Not necessarily the lowest number, but physically the one on the bottom of the stack. That's it for the plant auction. Replenish. Buying resources. First up is yellow, who's going to 2x their top plant, so 2 uranium. And then 1x their bottom plant, so that's 5 coal. Okay. Green's up. They're not buying resources this time. I'm up. Definitely 2 trash for 10. I don't know if I'm buying anything else. I have 9. It would cost me 8 plus, so 18 for an additional 4 does give me more than 18 returns. So maybe I will. I'll buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 18 in coal. Okay. Building. Yellow's up first. Yellow's building 1 to the northeast. Step 2 spaces are open, starting in Kansas City. Guy was taken, but St. Louis is open. Okay, then they gained a point. Try not to forget giving them points. Green is not building. They skip. Now it's my turn. I have a little bit of money. Just a little bit of money. But for 23, I can get up to the cheap seats. So I think I'm going just 1. 2 and change. End of round. I'm going to power 8. That's going to give me 90. Need to trash the highest plant. Well, not trash. I keep saying trash. Just tuck it under the stack. And then refill resources at the step 2 rate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1. Next round, player order is the same. Round 6. Need some new Automa cards for Frida. 1, 2, 3. And up first is for the power plant auction. Oh, and they're both in it. And green is a big spender. If I want a plant, I'm going to have to spend, since I'm going first, 15 electro over the asking price because they're both in it and 15 is the higher bid. If green had already gone, then I'd only have to pay 8, but they haven't. Well, maybe I won't be buying a plant. Might be sitting on my cash. I pass, too rich for my blood. Then it is green's turn. They're going to just take plant 4 because I'm out of the bidding. Replenish, and then yellow's turn is going to take 16, which is lower than 28 for once. So you tuck it underneath the top. So see the 16 right underneath the 28. And the bottommost plant is out here. Okay. That is the power plant auction. On to buying resources, and yellow is first. Yellow's going to do 1x their plants, and green's not participating. Yellow's going to do a nuke, and 2 oil, and 2 coal. Okay. Green skips. My turn. 2 trash for 10. That's a no-brainer. What else, though? What else might be some brainer? I make basically $20 for spending 9. So that's worth it. What about the other 2? That would be another $10. I can probably part with that. I'll make a return for another 2. We haven't had it come up yet, but if Frida has one of these plants that's a hybrid plant, they will always choose the plant, like one of these guys, oil and coal. They'll always choose the cheapest resource first as they're taking resources. And if they were tied like they are here, they would take the topmost first. But then they would be on. See what I mean there? Okay. Yellow is building first. 1 to the northwest. Step 2. There's not a connection to the northwest. We spin around, we spin around. Here we go. Atlanta has an opening for them. Just 1 this time. Green's turn. Green is building 2 to the southeast. Can't build in the same place, so loop out to the second connection out. Going southeast. This has an opening. No opening. About again. Here we go. Take these 2. 2 points for green. Alright, am I building anything? I don't think it makes sense to build right now. Sit on my cash. End of the round. End of the turn, I'm going to power 8. Bureaucracy. Get my 90. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Highest in the market, to the bottom. Replenish resources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1. And next round, round 7. We're getting close to the end here. Let's see. Frida needs new cards. Turn order might have changed. Yeah, definitely round 7, because that's when you should run out of Frida the first time. Turn order. Green and purple have both built the same amount. 6, 29, 10, 3, 6, 79, 10. But green has 25 and I only have 24. So, green, then me, then yellow. Green's going first. They need a power plant card. Okay, they're going to take plant 1. Now, since they're starting the auctions, it's up for auction. Yellow and green are both still in it. So since yellow has the higher bid, I'd have to spend at least 5. I don't want this for 19. So green can have it. It's lower than 25, so they tuck it under. There, number 1. Their clean energy blank goes away. Replenish. My turn to put one up for bid. I would have to spend at least 5 more. And honestly, there's not a lot of great plants out here. If I spent $26 on this guy, I only get 2 more plants. And they're going to cost me a pretty penny. Or 2 more cities, rather. And might be worth it. So $26 because yellow's forcing up the cost, forcing up the price. 26 electro. Replenish. Yellow's turn. They just take plant 3. They just get it. But 20 is lower than 28. So you tuck it under. Take their bottom 1. Bing, bang, boom. Okay. Next phase. We are buying resources, and yellow is up first. Yellow's going to 1x their plants. So 1 uranium. 1 uranium. 1, 2, 3 coal. 1, 2 oil. Then it's my turn. 2 trash for 10, definitely. I'll just buy everything I can here. So 1, 2 for 10. 2 coal. And then 1, 2 for 11 coal and an oil. Okay. Now, green's turn. Green is going to 2x their top plant and then 1x their other. So 4 coal. Oof. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1x their trash, so 2 trash. Boom, boom. Man, coal is getting pricey. Time to build. Yellow is building. 2 to the north for yellow. Through the trash. In the yellow house bin. There. 2 to the north for yellow. They're building from Atlanta. Knoxville is open for step 2. Boom. Spin around. Raleigh is open. Boom. There's their 2 for yellow. My turn. I still am waiting on some good plants to come out. Let's see. Good plants here. Yellow just took the Raleigh space that I was going to use. Guess I could go in to Duluth for 15. It sounds like a solid investment. 15, get 10 back. Then into Fargo for 16. I'll get 9 back. Where else can I go? Still have a lot of money. 26 for New Orleans. Cheap seats might open soon here, but 25 is not bad for Norfolk. I have a lot of money. $23 in Houston, sure. Okay. Powering places, I'm going to power my 10 now for 105. Like the highest in the market. Replenish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. next round, round 8. So now we've come to round 8. The Frida deck is empty. Take all of the cards, including the 3 that were discarded last time. Give everything a good shuffle. Discard 3. And start again. Same as always. So let's look at our player order. I'm in first now. Yellow has a higher plant. And then green. I am starting the power plant auctions. Where it's going to get tricky here. The game ends by the normal rules of Power Grid. If I build the 17th city, it will trigger the end of the game. But I can only power 10, which would put us into tiebreaker, which I think the Automa would win right now. I'm up first. Both Automa colors are in it, and the highest is 5. So I'd have to spend 5 over asking price. Probably trade this. It'd be $31. 31 Electro. 831. Toss out this 12 plant. You dead to me, plant. Okay. Yellow's turn after I replenish this. Step 3. Alright, if I remember correctly, step 3 being revealed now means this happens. Play how you normally would. I have a card here to help remind me about that, though. Yes. Okay, so now it is Yellow's turn to bid on a plant. They're just going to take 2. I've already bought some out of the auction. They just get it. Oh no, they're in trash now. Okay. Green goes after I replenish. And they are going to take plant 3. 29 is bigger than 25. There we go. That's the end of buying power plants. Time for resources, and green is going first. They're going to 1x theirs. So oil is cheaper than coal, and they have a hybrid plant, so scoot. And they're going to 1x their bottom half here. So 2 coal, 2 trash. Then it's Yellow's turn, but they are skipping the resource auction, buying resources. The resource market. My turn for resources. If I want to win this turn, I have to buy enough resources to power all of these and build more than however much the Automa will build this turn. It is possible they build 0. But best case scenario, I could power 13. This is always a fun part of Power Grid. We're in step 3 now. Building cities is going to be cheaper now that the power plant auction is over. Just doing the cleanup here. When we got into step 3 now, you want to arrange it kind of like this. The human can put all 6 up for auction, just like in the real game. The Automa still only cares about these bottom 4. When there are fewer than 4 plants remaining, the Automa just won't participate in the power plant auction anymore. Anyway, this is always a fun part of the game. Step 3 is available, so there's lots of places to build. But I need to have enough money to power all of my 13 worth of plants and build 2 more to trigger the end of the game. And the Automa has to not build 3 more cities, which they can sometimes do that. I won't know that until the next phase. So it's kind of a fun decision here. I think I'm going to try to max out. I almost certainly could not build 2 more this turn. I'll max out my resources. Let's see, because otherwise there's no chance. 2 oil for 11. It's 14 back. 2 trash for 12. 1 back. 2 oil. Well, maybe an oil and a wood. Let's just scoot that twice? No. Did I? I don't remember if I scooted that or not. Let's just assume I did. So 12. For an oil and a wood. Okay. Everybody has done resources. Now it's time to build. They would not have done 3. But green's going first. 2 to the southeast. Loop. And loop. Step 3 is now open, so they will build here into New Orleans. Yellow's turn. 1 to the northwest. Step 3 is now available, so they're going to build here in Cincinnati. Okay. They both built. Green built 2. Okay. My turn to build. If I can build 2, I win it because I can power 13, and the Automa can always power however many cities they build. So right now they can only power 12. Let's see. And that'd be 23 for here. It's pretty cheap. I don't think I can do it this turn. Oh, just shy. Man, oh man. Oh, we'll go here for 23. Get $2 back. Okay, well, power him. So we're all done building. Powering my 8, 13, 124. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back. Okay. 125. We're in step 3 now, so we just get the highest one out of the game. That's it. Replenish. Okay, probably the final round here. Replenish at step 3 rates 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1. Did that, I did that, I did that. Next round, round 9. Away we go. So Frida needs new cards. 1, 2, 3. Player order. Green and yellow have swapped. Okay, I'm going first in the auction, the power plant auction. Do I want anything? If I can power 13, but they build more than 13, I lose. Whatever plan I buy, it's cost me $8 more. Gives me 5, that gives me 2. Ooh, oof. Might take this 30. Oh, that's right, but I can buy up here. You are allowed to buy up here, even though the Automa doesn't care. You still just have to spend the extra $8. Well, maybe this guy for 54. Yeah. Okay. Green's turn. Green is going to take 3. Okay. And yellow is not participating. Next phase, yellow buys first. Yellow is passing. Then green is going to 2x their top, which is nothing. 1x their bottom. So oil is cheaper than coal. They're going to do 1 oil and then 2 coal for their other plant. My turn. I just need enough to build 1 city, but resources are very expensive now. Oh, okay. Let's see. 12. 2 trash. Okay. 2 for 10. That's 2 oil. And then 1, 2, 3 for 19. Yeesh. Get 6 back. That was oil, coal, coal. Okay. Well, let's see how we do here. Coming into the building, yellow's going to build. Yellow's building 1 to the east. Step 3 is open, but they've already built in Raleigh and Knoxville, St. Louis. They go Chicago. That's their 1. Green is next. They build 2 to the west. Let's see, where is their build target? This guy right here. This is open. This is open. Thanks, Frida, for taking step 2 space. 1, 2. Okay, here's the question. I can power 16. So I just need to build 1 and I win. I think I have enough for that. Let's see. Right here for 26. I've built the 17th city. Triggers the end of the game, just like playing with humans. I can power 16 of my 17. Frida will power, each of the Automa is kind of another player, but you really only have to worry about whoever's highest. Frida can power however many cities they build. So they can power 14. I power 16. I won this time. I am not the best power grid player. As much fun as I have designing this Automa. So I'm a little surprised that I won. Probably had some lucky draws there at Frida taking clean energy plants and some lucky skips on the Automa brain. That does happen sometimes, but hopefully this gave you a sense for how the Automa works. And again, some of the numbers that you see on these cards could tweak in future versions if I continue to develop it. But this gameplay is exactly the same. I love how this feels and has that good tension that you come to expect out of a game of Power Grid. Works great at 2 players as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and there will be a link below if you have any questions or any errors in this video. Drop me a comment, let me know. And that just about covers it. I hope you enjoy playing against Frida. I know that I do Power Grid as one of the first Euro games I ever bought, actually. It's always been a favorite in our house. So it's fun to have new ways to enjoy a game that we love. I hope that you also enjoy it. Have a good one.